Fans keep asking me, why does the UFC continue to return to Chicago in January of all months to bring a UFC on Fox card here? And of course, this is the third year in a row that they've done this, and I finally figured it out. It's because people love our annual interviews with the best in the world, CM Punk. We've done it 2 years ago, last year, and of course, here we are once again on a Thursday night, once again, for a little catch-up with the greatest wrestler of all time, the greatest living wrestler, in my opinion, the former WWE champion, CM Punk. It is good to see you.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hi,
Oh, sorry.
I'm just making coffee because it's cold.
Yes.
It's 5 degrees out.
I just walked
this.
into your place.
Welcome to my kitchen. We're cooking with Punk today. We're making coffee. Best believe I will burn it.
You do agree this is probably the reason why, because there can't be any other good reason as to why they keep coming back here in January.
Come on, sports fans in Chicago are crazy.
Yeah,
we love our UFC.
Are you going to the show?
Of course.
You are?
Yes.
You'll be there?
I will be there.
How do you fit it in? It's always before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I asked for the weekend off.
You did?
Yeah.
Is there a show? Is there some work obligation that you
There is a show, but I don't know where it is because I'm not on it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm flying to Portland in the morning to do an appearance, Wizard World.
Mm-hmm.
Elvira is going to be there.
That's the infamous.
Cool. Yeah, and then I fly right back, and then I'll go to UFC, hang out.
What's your reason that you give them?
Reason for what?
Why you can't work that show on Saturday?
Oh, we have a don't ask, don't tell policy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I pick one weekend off, and I don't give them a reason as to why I need it off.
Until they see you front and center on Fox.
Yeah, that they don't make comments about that anymore.
They don't?
No, I think I broke the ice on that.
What does that mean?
I think, God, 3 years ago,
right.
I was going to walk Chael out.
Of course.
There was a big
to-do.
There was a big to-do about it, but since then I think it's died down. Ric Flair was just at the last.
He was like the
UFC.
honorary, guest at UFN show.
Yeah. So.
Will you get that kind of treatment? Will they show you on Fox?
I don't think anybody they probably will. They normally do when I'm at the shows.
Right.
But I'm nervous because I don't know what's going on with my hair right now. So
what is going on?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is this an in-between phase?
No, it's just I kind of don't care about my appearance.
Okay.
So it's just the mop on top of my
What
head.
about here? I'm a big aficionado of facial hair. You're going with a bit of a Wolverine type look?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of, especially in the cold months, straight razor shave.
Okay.
Have you tried that?
No, I haven't. I'm not
it's highly recommended.
Really? So you don't do straight razor, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, just here?
Yeah, here, like clean.
Really?
Yeah, clean
Straight
hair.
up?
Straight razor shave.
Blade?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not do everything?
Well, maybe I will. I don't know.
Okay. I like the beard, just for the record.
Thank you. You have a nice one yourself.
No, the actual when you had the full beard.
Oh, no, I look too old. I look young now.
Okay.
I think.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you happy?
No, well,
I'll throw you the fuck out of my house.
What I'm getting at is I read a lot of things. As I said to you off camera, if it wasn't for you and Paul Heyman.
I hate Paul Heyman.
Who doesn't? But if it wasn't for you guys, honestly, I probably wouldn't be as interested in the world of professional wrestling as I was as a youngster. So I keep tabs on you. And
if it wasn't for me, I probably wouldn't be interested in pro wrestling either.
You've been known to be a little...
That sounded bad.
No.
It sounded like I almost have an ego.
But I've been reading that your contract is up with WWE. Is that accurate?
In like 6 months or something like that. July.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah.
Usually that's when people start talking about the next one.
Yeah, but nobody talks to me.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really like talking to certain people. I have a new boss like every 6 months anyway.
Right. Who's your boss now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's one of those weird.
I just go direct to Vince.
Right.
That's how you get.
Do you have an open line to him?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I just asked him the other day. It's weird because I don't ever sleep, and I know he doesn't either. So I'll text him at like 4 in the morning. Like, hey,
he responds?
Yeah. He's like, hey, and he gives me insomnia tips sometimes. It's funny. But
you and Vince texting buddies,
Yeah, it's weird because I go through like a cycle where I just kind of stay out of the way and I don't talk to anybody. But then I realize I do have this ability to communicate with Vince McMahon, the guy I used to watch commentate. So it's weird. So then I'll just hit him with a bunch of weird questions. I was curious as to who was inducting the Ultimate Warrior
Right.
into the Hall of Fame, because he's a lot like me. He doesn't like anybody, and everybody who ever worked with him has pretty much just talked shit about him. So
Right.
I'm kind of fascinated. And I think popular opinion is Hogan's going to do it, but they hate each other.
Right.
So I threw my name in the hat.
You gonna get it?
I doubt it. But
Why?
I said I would love to induct.
Have you ever
the
met
Ultimate
him?
Warrior. The Warrior?
Yeah.
No, I've never met him. I've talked to him a lot.
What kind of guy
seem
is
to
he?
have,
Is he the same?
we seem to have this strange relationship, this kinship. Where
Really?
he just out of the blue will, like, text me or direct message me this like super, like, just inspirational like stuff just randomly, like normally on like the night of big shows like Mania or when I wrestled The Rock last year at the Rumble. Like he pays attention. He's a rad guy.
Really?
Huh?
Is he the same kind of character? The guy with the promos that kind of went all over the place. That kind of guy.
I've never had that kind of interaction with him.
Okay.
He's pretty intense.
He's not cutting promos on you, essentially.
No, but I wish he would.
Is he going to be an active member of the roster now?
I don't think so.
I saw Jake the Snake come back.
He's going into the Hall of Fame though, and I think
The New
that's
Age
overdue.
Outlaws, for God's sake, sir.
Yeah, we're bringing them all back.
Aren't you in a bit of a program with them right now?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, anything that's different, I kind of like. My opinion, everything could always be better, but it's not my company, so I don't. I used to be way more gung ho about it, and now I'm just trying to stay withdrawn and just.
Why though? You're a big player. Your
Yeah,
voice
but
matters.
I don't need the stress.
Right.
When
did that change?
I don't know. I gave it a pretty good shot, but I don't know when exactly it changed, and I don't know if it did. Just some days are better than others. Some days I'm like so beat up I don't feel like putting my boots on, and then some days I go out there and I can still have fun. It's there's definitely a balance. There's highs and lows.
Do you feel like you failed?
Failed.
Do you feel like you failed in your attempt to make change, to have your voice heard?
You probably have to ask me that when I'm like done.
Okay.
Because I'm still close to it. So, and plus I'm one of those guys that is always going to think I can do something better if I get a second stab at it, or I could have done better regardless, because I'm my biggest critic. So it's strange also gauging your not popularity, but your success rate in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, what makes you successful? Is it the money you've earned, or the money you've drawn, or the matches, like the match quality? It's hard to do. It's not like UFC or MMA where a W is a W. It could have been the worst lay and pray, boring ass fight in the history of the world, but you win. So you win, you get the win. Pro wrestling's not exactly like that.
Are you going to stick around
For
after
the
six,
show?
After 6 months,
Oh, I don't know.
you haven't decided.
No, everything's up in the air.
Really?
Plus, if I say yes and I don't, then I was lying. If I say no and then I resign, I was full of shit. So I just
You're
I mean,
considering
3 years
options?
ago I was out the door. It was 100%. No, I'm not resigning. And now this time, I think just to avoid a little bit of deja vu, I think I'm just going to kind of dance around that question. I don't know.
Lay low.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
How are you dealing with the travel? Because from what I understand, I just had Eve on my show, the former WWE diva.
Of course.
She explained to me, and her fiance Henner explained to me this amazing, and I never really talked to you about this amazing schedule where you come home on like a Wednesday afternoon, you have all of Thursday, and then first thing Friday, you start the whole thing again.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty.
I felt tired just listening to it.
Well, it's brutal, and I think you really have to. I think you really have to want it, and I've been on that WWE schedule for a decade now, and I don't think anybody else can boast that claim. Other guys have been out for and yeah, they've been hurt, getting surgery and stuff like that, but still 6 months, 8 months, blah blah blah. I took a 2-month break at almost the beginning of last year, and I still don't think that was enough. That was my first break pretty much ever, and it wasn't that long.
What'd you do?
A lot of jiu-jitsu. I actually went down to Destin, Florida with Henner and Eve. I went to a lot of playoff hockey. I did stuff that I normally can't do.
Is that when you went to all the UFC shows?
Yeah, I went to those too. Like the one out in Sacramento.
Right.
The one where...
San Jose.
Yeah, was it San Jose?
San Jose. You went to the tough finale, then you showed up in San Jose.
Yeah, the one when Gilbert beat Henderson.
Well, actually, technically he lost, but you think he won.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big Gilbert guy.
I love Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilbert's great. I love that whole team.
The scrap pack.
Yes.
If you will. Speaking of jiu-jitsu, Dave Batista's back. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that team as well, he's a member of that team, right?
He's a Gracie guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
About him being a Gracie guy?
No, him being back.
It was great. You know, I was critical of Rock coming back,
right?
Because of the part-time status, and I'm still an advocate of I don't think guys should come back just for WrestleMania and possibly take a spot of somebody else who quote unquote deserves it. Mm-hmm. Also a weird thing to gauge in pro wrestling, whether you deserve something or not. But he's in for the long haul. He's apparently signed a 2-year contract,
really?
And he's a full-time guy. So,
who wins if you roll?
Oh, me.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's a purple belt.
What are you?
I'm a white belt for life.
Yeah.
I refuse belt ceremonies and.
Is that true? Have they offered it to you?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But I don't see the point. Like I'm very. I think that's why Hidon loves me. Is because I'm very. I just do it just to learn.
Right.
I don't need to. It's not about. Look, I have a blue cock, or I have a purple. Like I don't. Whatever. Like I just do it.
So do you prefer no gi then? So you don't have to deal with that.
No, I seldomly do no gi. Most of the time it's gi because I just like a lot of the traditional aspects. Plus, I just love choking people with
Right.
shirts,
lapels and things of that nature. But that being said, you still think you beat him, given the size difference, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's because of the size difference.
Interesting. Another big man who obviously has ties to our world is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And there have been some rumors that he wants to come back to the UFC. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Do you think it's true?
I mean, I do and I don't. I don't think he's talked like one-on-one to Dana. But knowing Brock, I definitely think he'll watch a fight and he'll be like, I can beat that guy, and I definitely think there's unanswered questions and there's probably doubts in his mind. I mean, I think he spent half his UFC career sick with what is it, diverticulitis? Mm-hmm. I don't even know what that is. That's, he had over half of his small intestine taken out. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty brutal, like you get the flu and you're laid up for like a week, and this guy had his intestine taken out, and he was in the ring with some of the best strikers in the world. That being said, Brock obviously doesn't like being punched in the face, but I don't know anybody who likes being punched in the face. I think it's an aspect he can work on, and he's Brock Lesnar. I don't think there's really anybody else in his category. Sure, there's guys that can beat him, but they're world-class guys like Kane. But Brock's a freak of nature.
So do you get the sense he isn't going to come back or wants?
I don't get the sense that he's going to,
okay.
But I see the possibility that he would want to.
Really? Would you advise against that? I mean, at this point, what is there to really accomplish at his age, his time away?
That's a question he would have to answer. I don't know, truthfully, like what's in his head or whatever, I know he makes a decent living doing what he does now with limited days at work, and he's got kids and his wife, and he likes to go hunting. So he's not hard up, but I think he's a competitor at heart.
Batista, when he left, he dabbled. He had that one fight.
Yep.
Let's say things don't work out for whatever reason. I feel like I ask you this all the time.
Yes,
but,
you do.
And that train.
Am I gonna fight?
Yes. And that train, you sometimes drop little subtle things. Is that maybe the thing that pulls you away? At least you just go out, you get it out of your system, and then like Batista, you come back.
Maybe.
Is that on the table? Are you thinking of that?
I don't know.
Has anyone ever approached you?
Well, let's do it for your
yes.
your show right here. I mean, honestly, there's going to be a lot of people out there that say that I can't do it.
Right.
Great. To me, that's the number one reason to do something. That's the reason I'm here right now. You're standing in my house. that I paid for because a bunch of people thought that I couldn't make it in the WWE. I've been here almost 10 years now. I mean, I think that's me in a nutshell. That's, you tell me I can't do something, you tell me there's a mountain over there and nobody's climbed it yet, I'm going to try to climb it. Whether I get to the summit or not is all based on, I think, my hard work or what I put into it. I'm 35. I've never competed in like martial arts, so who's to say if I would be good or not? But I really think there's a chance, but I'm mainly just saying that so I can read people talk shit on
There's an
message
itch.
boards.
There's an itch, though, right?
I think so.
Have you ever talked to
there
Dana
is.
about it?
No.
You sit next to him. I see you all the time with him.
No, because I think if I talk to Dana about it, it becomes, it becomes that much more real. Plus, what do you do if you're Dana? What do you do with a guy like CM Punk who comes to him and like
Ultimate
says,
Fighter, would you do that?
Sure.
You'd go through that?
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. Like, not tooting my own horn and saying that I'm some sort of megastar or anything like that. But do you put CM Punk on
Ratings. They get ratings.
Would it? Maybe the
Come
first
on.
episode. I see. That's the thing. I don't know. We're talking about
Right.
it. We're talking about it, ladies and gentlemen.
Or would you do like a small show, and then maybe you work your way
Well,
up
that's
that
the
way,
thing. Like, how many people like on that?
Stop it.
What's that website? Underground.
Oh, yes. the
Oh, they're
UG.
gonna be freaking out. Yeah, he can't fight. Blah blah blah. Like
Fake guy.
yeah. Like I should start, on like some scrub show at like the Hammond Civic
Right.
Center or something like that. But I have this notoriety and I have this. This presence. So do you put that on a small show, or do you start off in the UFC? And maybe I could just get guzzled. Who knows? But
Right.
think of all the people who want to see me get my ass kicked.
I know.
Think about that.
It would be great.
It's a really interesting question. I think it's like, what do you do with that? Do you put me in a UFC octagon, and does that do a good buy rate because people are interested in seeing it, or they just want to see me get beat up? And either way, everybody makes a bunch of money. I get punched in the face 4 nights a week. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying it's any easier or any harder than what I do. It just there's similarities and there's differences.
How about this infiltration of BJJ into the world of pro wrestling? Triple H hanging out with Henner, Stephanie McMahon getting choked by Eve. What's going on there? They're clearly biting your style now.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's all.
What do you think when you heard that? This is Triple H, the guy who said that he didn't get MMA and all this stuff. Now I see, he's bringing in Henner and Eve to help train his kids.
Yeah, and I think it was for the kids because I think
He didn't roll?
I think he might have done a couple, 2-3 things with Henner, but I got the sense that he wasn't so into it, but the kids were. And
He's into it enough to bring them in to teach his kids.
I know, yeah, but I know Henner and Eve were on your show. I don't know if you've ever seen them with kids. They're amazing.
Oh, really?
Henner and Hedon with kids, like watching them teach the kids out in Torrance and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch the bully-proof stuff go down. Like it's great. It's fun. I think it's great for any kid of any age. So I think it's smart for Triple H and Stephanie to get their kids into it. It's pretty
But
cool.
do you kind of chuckle inside when you see that?
I would chuckle if I saw Triple H in a gi.
Right. Yeah.
But then, how many people out there chuckle when they see me in a gi? So,
Right.
Yeah,
We
we all have our opinions.
Recently, I just wanted to ask. There was some news that came out, and I know you may not want to address this, so I respect that, but I'll ask it anyway. Some drama.
I'm so intrigued right now.
Yes, there was some drama that happened. I'm just going to move over on this side to get a better look at you, so I can ask you this serious question.
What are you up to?
There was some drama online. People are actually asking me this question involving a certain TV host at an event, some kind of argument of sorts. Is there anything you could shed on this story? Because a lot of people were very intrigued by this.
The Beatle thing.
The Michelle Beatle
it was
story.
A bunch of horse shit.
Total lie.
Well, I mean, I don't know what a lie was. I thought me and Beetle were pals. She had like this group of women with her, and they walked past me, and she said some disrespectful shit, and I was
Really?
just like, whoa. And then my girlfriend pulled her aside in front of the same group of people, and was like, and she introduced herself, and she was like, "Don't be disrespectful with my boyfriend." And Beetle just went, "Okay," and walked away, and that was it.
That was it. How did it turn into this thing? How does it get leaked out to the point to where, websites and talk shows are talking about it?
That's the interesting.
This was on sports shows too. Like,
was it really?
Yeah, it was because she's a big deal. How does that happen? Who's the mole?
God, I don't know. I have no idea.
Were people hitting you up about it? Was it a problem? Something you had to deal with?
No, it wasn't. That's the thing. It wasn't a thing at all. I think it was made out to be salacious, and that's why people picked up on it.
Okay. Where do you stand now? Still buddies?
Who, me and Beetle?
Yeah.
No.
No. What did she say?
She walked by and said, "What's up, fuckface?"
Oh.
And then high-fived one of the girls, and I was just standing there like, all right.
Did you call each other?
For the troops. I was like,
yeah, that's right. It was
all right.
Did you call each other that in the past? No, that wasn't. All right.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for clearing that up. I've been building to that moment.
You're such a journalist.
WWE Network just came out. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
$10 a month for everything, and you get the pay-per-views. Is that good? Is that good for the business?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I get my pay-per-view checks, because I still don't know what's happening with that. I don't know.
Do you stand for news?
If you're a fan, I might. I don't know. If people aren't, it's considerably less money, right? Which is great for fans. Sorry, I'm professional. If you're a fan, God, I would have killed to have that thing in '97. You know what I mean? Just watch wrestling all day. That's insane. But I think for the boys, and it's just a question of we don't even know yet. I don't know what happens to pay-per-view numbers. Do they go down because everyone's watching them on the network? Does that reflect my pay? Do I get paid less?
They even tell you guys about this before announcing it?
No, not really.
No. So you found out essentially like the rest of the world?
Yeah. Well, the network was supposed to get launched forever ago, almost 2 years ago.
Right. There were rumors of it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in this form. It was
I think originally they wanted it like a channel. Thank God we didn't do that. Oprah's channel doesn't even generate any revenue.
Is it smart though to put WrestleMania on there for $10?
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Really?
Like I said.
Well, for the fans, but for the business.
I don't know. We're going to see.
Seen.
And I think that's what Vince has always been good at, is doing stuff that a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to do. He really puts his neck on the line. So this could be just another one of those things. People thought he was crazy when he was, trying to get on syndicated cable, and look what happened. So you never know. A lot of people also say we're way behind on this because Netflix has been around for however long. And I think that's kind of the model, is it's a Netflix almost like application, and you can just watch wrestling whenever the hell you want. It's interesting.
3 more quick things, and I appreciate the time very much.
What are we going to talk about? The fights, man?
I'm getting there. I'm building to it. I'm building to it. How about Daniel Bryan?
What about him?
He's a very big star, right? From
Yeah.
what I hear, the yes chant. But
think
still
so.
does not acknowledge where he got it from, publicly at least.
Oh, really?
Where's the love for Diego?
I love
poor
Diego.
guy. Guy's getting
Diego.
smashed in the head. He does it. He started that. It's time he gives some props, right?
I think so.
He took it to a whole other level. But Daniel did. They're doing that at basketball games and whatnot. I see chants, crowd chants with the cheerleaders and everything. But it's time to give props to Diego now.
I give props to Diego.
Sure.
That's up to Daniel Bryan if he wants to. And I think everything in pro wrestling is stolen. You know what I mean? So it's up to the person who steals it to you either acknowledge where you got it from. But this day and age, it's just also everybody's got smartphones and there's Twitter and the internet. So everything is available. It's not like back in the day when superstar Billy Graham would just straight lift something from Ali. And then somebody saw superstar Billy Graham do it, and they'd just be like, "Wow, that's great." They wouldn't be able to Google, that stuff and realize that he pretty much is just ripping that off from Ali, and then you wouldn't know that Ali just ripped all that stuff off from Gorgeous George. So, I hope he makes a ton of money off it.
Are you surprised at how popular he's gotten?
No.
Is he the most popular guy right now?
Once again, in the world of pro wrestling, it's such a hard thing to gauge, because what are we talking about? Are we talking about merchandise sales, or are we just talking about crowd reactions? Crowd reactions, yes, hands down. I think everybody likes to throw their hands in the air and scream yes. And it's fun, like kids and grandpas and stuff like that. And it's just crazy, and it's great to see it happen. it's interesting for me because I feel I get to watch it happen, and it's sort of what happened with me 3 years ago, and I'm watching it happen with him now, and it's cool knowing where he came from and how good he is, and that I feel he deserves, all the accolades he gets. I think it's great.
Why did they kill that for you, that momentum? It feels to me, and I speak now, I take off the journalist hat and I just talk as a fan of pro wrestling, it feels like they have misused you. Out of respect, I say that, because I want more. I want to see more as a consumer. Why have they killed that momentum for you? Why are you not fighting in the unification bouts? Why are you not at the top?
I would like to think that they don't do stuff like that on purpose. I just think it's a difference of opinion. I just think it's they wanted to go one way with it, and they thought it was going to be the best way, and whether it was or not is, it's a matter of interpretation. I think you're a fan from back in the day like I was, and I think you watch the first Royal Rumble and you get all excited about it, and now you watch this Royal, like the upcoming one, and it might not be your cup of tea anymore because you're not, it's not Demolition and the Bolsheviks and like all these guys that you grew up watching, so you're stoked on it, you know what I mean? It's just different era and different time.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, it's this Sunday.
Yes.
UFC is Saturday. You're number one.
Yes, I am.
You're actually in the Royal Rumble this time. Last year you were fighting or going up against The Rock.
I haven't been in the Rumble.
It's been a while.
2 years, I think.
Did you prefer that or being in the featured match?
No, the Rumble.
The Rumble's awesome.
Yeah, the Rumble's I think my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
But what about number one? That means you're in for. Usually, history has told us you're in for a long night. How do you prepare for that?
Well, I could show you my Chicago Marathon medal.
Yes.
I think I've always kind of prided myself on being an Ironman, and I'm not. I can't bench 500 pounds, but I can, I could probably run 500 miles if I wanted to, so it's going to be fun for me. I'm looking forward to it.
Who's your date at WrestleMania?
My date?
Yeah.
Or who I'm
Who's
wrestling?
your dance partner?
Oh, I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No.
We'll find out maybe this Sunday?
And that's the thing. You might, but a lot of stuff happens between now and then. You know what I mean? We got the Rumble, there's Elimination Chamber, and then I think there's going to be 6 weeks to WrestleMania. So we still got a lot of time.
Okay, final thing. UFC's here. You're going.
Yes.
Third year in a row. What do you think of this card? The first time they were here, we had Chael on, we had Rashad Evans. The second time, we had a title fight, we had Rampage in a swan song.
Dane is going to hate me right now.
Okay.
I'll go to any UFC card. Mm-hmm. I will watch any UFC fight on TV because I'm a hardcore super fan. I'm a little disappointed in the card.
Mm.
I wish there were some women on it.
Mm.
I wish. And you know what it is? It's not anything. I'm looking forward to Sergio Pettis. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the main event. I'm not the biggest Benson Henderson fan.
Clearly. The Punk stole your nickname.
Who? No. It is an interesting fight though, because both guys. I was going to say both guys are coming off great wins, but they're not, are they?
They're not.
No, the one is.
Josh.
And I saw that. I saw that one live and in person, and
That's right.
It was interesting too because I was sitting next to Ronda, and on the other side of Ronda was Cain Velasquez.
Okay.
So, me and Ronda are going crazy for Nate. And,
that's right.
And he's like, and I'm just like kind of like looking over, like, it's his training partner. Like, oh, this is.
He got the last laugh.
This is uncomfortable, but Ronda was in between us, so I thought if anything went down, she had my back. But yeah, I wish there were women. I'm a big women's MMA fan. There's just something. To me, a lot of the times, if I don't know two of the fighters and they're guys, I'm kind of like, all right. If I don't know two of the fighters and they're women, I think I'm just more interested in it. I think the only real reason is just because I love women.
Right. Period.
Well, I just think they fight different than guys. There's just something about it's just I don't know if it's more primal or they're more passionate, and that's an awfully blanket statement to say because obviously certain people are more passionate about certain things. But I don't know. I'm a fan of women's MMA.
How about Ronda tweeting at you, calling you, and I quote, sexy? Did you see this tweet?
Are you going to disagree with her?
No, but I just thought it was very interesting.
So you think I'm sexy?
Well, just...
Wow. The voice cracked and everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about that.
Okay,
because
it's very nice.
I probably get my ass kicked in a lot of different directions.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
It was great to see you. How about this?
Good to
this
see you.
time next
This time
year.
next year?
Let's do it again.
Do part 4?
Part 4. Well, it's up to the UFC if they keep wanting. They know what the draw is at this point.
Let's get some women.
Let's get some
women on the show.
Well, they know. I mean, they know
I'm just
the draw is.
holding this card up to like the last couple ones
Sure,
I've
sure.
seen. You know what I mean? And like
On paper,
you
though,
know.
it might not have the star power, but you know that goes sometimes.
I do. Stipe Miocic is fighting. That's cool.
Gabriel Gonzaga.
Yep. No Russo though, huh?
No.
What?
He's actually not with the company.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Chicago flavor on this card. This guy
No.
Darren Elkins, but yeah, it's not.
Well, we got Duke Rufus and
Right, he's got some guys.
Sergio will be down here, so
Right.
that's always I'll support anybody from Rufus Sport.
Well, I keep coming to these Chicago events in the cold, even though it doesn't affect me as
Freezing
a Canadian,
outside.
just for this. Just
Cool.
to be in your apartment, your kitchen, your house, your beautiful house. Thank you for opening the doors to us. And good luck at the Rumble, number 1.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sign, something to let the people who watch this know? Like when you walk in there, can you make a heart? Can you do something to connect? No, you're not that kind of guy, right?
What at the Rumble?
Yeah, when you walk onto this,
Like wear like a
do a thing. I
wear
don't
one
know.
of your T-shirts or something.
I mean, it's been talked about.
Really?
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, I'll write a heart on my wrist
Okay.
tape just for you.
Great.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
Perfect.
Thanks, buddy.
Good to see you.